Hi guys, it's been a while since I posted anything at all. But with that being said, I would like to go on ahead and do a little bit of a review for a book that I've been working on for about 7 months, slowly, and reading other books in between, like really short, quick reads that, it's basically teen fiction. And, it's just, I gotta read something quickly, and it's like there's only so many days in a year, and you gotta read other things besides this one big chunk hulking book. Um, so anyway, without further ado, I have read Brandon Sanderson's The Way of Kings, the first book in the Stormlight Chronicles. I have to say, I give it a 5 out of 5 stars because it's a really good storyline. The characters are absolutely amazing. I think one of my favorite characters is Yasna Colin, or Colin, or something. But Yasna is probably an incredibly complex character. She's probably the most complex character there, honestly. I mean, she's she's like, devout atheist, but she's also like, well, look, if you can prove it, then I'm fine. I just don't like you people yelling at me and all that stuff. Oh, and stealing my stuff. And she also has a very interesting look at morality that most people, that I almost feel like some people have, but it's a very extreme view of it. It's what, like, I think Yasna is like the embodiment of how everybody would like to be, but no one is, because it's a bad idea. And you shouldn't do that because, we live in a society that's a lot better off than the, oh my goodness, I can't remember what this place is called. It's been that, it's just, I'm tired. Roshar. I think it's Roshar. I'm quite certain it's Roshar. Maybe. Might be wrong. Well, in the kingdoms, or I should say the Alethi are pretty, and that's what these people are. These people are basically the Alethi versus the Parshendi, and the Parshendi, like the biggest epic finish at the end, when we find out like who and what the Parshendi and the Parshmen really are. And then we also discover like quite a bit of other stuff going on, and there's like the Desolations, for instance. I really am interested now in knowing what the Desolations are. I also think it's funny that like all the character, I think it's funny just how Brandon Sanderson takes religion and kind of like gives it a twist. He does go into the typical God is dead or God dies trope. That's something that I if I remember correctly from what I've heard from other people who've read God is dead literature or God dies literature, it's not uncommon. So that's not new. What is new and interesting and exciting is his magic system, and that's the interesting. Basically, one of the most interesting parts of the world is the magic system, and just how you don't quite know what it is, because it all has something to do with storm light, not light, storm light. It's a specific light that you have to have in order to make other things work, or like basically make the magic work. And if the stormlight doesn't exist, the magic doesn't work. And then you have one of the characters who has visions, Dalinar. He has visions during great storms, these incredibly huge storms that are basically the equivalent of a sandstorm in the Sahara Desert. It's like one of those things you don't want to get caught out in, or else you're probably going to die. And so that's what these storms are. And then you have basically this war going on over revenge, and nobody really, the only people who really know why they're fighting anymore are the enemy. Everybody else, the Alethi, the Vorin, the people, everybody involved fighting the Parshendi don't remember why they're fighting them. And so everybody's kind of sitting here going, okay, we're going to do another thing, and then we're going to do another thing, and then we're going to do another thing. And you have Dalinar, who's being told to unite them, but he's not understanding what the vision means. It doesn't mean unite them as in the Alethi. It's unite. When you come to the end of the book, you realize they need to unite other people. The Knights Radiant, I believe. Yes, the Knights Radiant. They need to unite the Knights Radiant. They have not united. And this book, the beginning of this book is basically about uniting the Knights, like basically introducing the Knights Radiant, because I have a feeling everybody who's going to be pertinent as far as Knights Radiant in here, or the Radiants in here, they're in here. Yasna, I'm sure, is a Radiant. Shallan is a Radiant. Kaladin is a Radiant. Shen is a Radiant? I think it's Shen. This is the problem with reading not being able to read something all the way through, is you don't remember what you've read. But anyway, and so there's a lot of people who are going to be Radiants. And then you also have the little people who are in there as well, and they're talked about. Then you also have, you kind of have a little bit of an insert of the bad, I feel like some antagonists, but I don't think they're the major antagonist. I think they're just part of the antagonist. They're antagonistic, but not like the thing we have to worry about the most. So we have that, and we just have a lot of stuff going on, and it's slowly revealed throughout the book. And as far as instances go, can I pull them off the top of my head in a review? No. Should I have written it down? Of course. But since I know people aren't the biggest fan of every single spoiler ever, I won't spoil everything. I won't speak about every particular. Basically, I'm just speaking to you how I would write the review the moment I finished reading the book. And I finished reading the book at work, scanning files, listening to it on Audible. That's how I finished the book. I started off reading it on a plane, and on a plane, hilariously enough, going to a work function, and then I finished it at work. So, yeah. This book basically kept me company since October. It's kept me company since the end of September and the beginning of October. I have been working on this book for a long time. So, yeah. I'm definitely done reading Brandon Sanderson's The Way of Kings. Currently, I'm reading Voyager by Diana Gabaldon and Dune by Frank Herbert, who's I have a family connection to, which I didn't know about. I'm not related to him. Before anyone asks, I'm not related to him. He's apparently a person that my grandfather met. That's like literally the friend of a family friend, or related to a friend of a family friend. I can't remember how she described it. All I know is she said, "Oh, your grandpa met him," and I'm like, I'm sitting here going, okay. Didn't know that was gonna happen. So anyway, Brandon Sanderson, and part of the reasons why I wanted to read a Brandon Sanderson novel is because I wanted to get exposed a little bit to his adult writing. I have missed the Mistborn series up there, like the first 3 books, but I wanted to get exposed to his writing, so I can read the this all the way through. And I also wanted to see, like, when I went into the last few books, when I finally get to them, I want to see, like, where it changes, like, where the styles change. I really do want to see that. I want to see if he can mask it or not. So that'll be very interesting to see, and I can't wait to get to it. But right now, I'm taking a break from The Way of Kings and reading Voyager and Dune. Dune, which I'm getting through a lot faster than I did this, but Dune's a slightly easier read. Very slightly. Very slightly. Mostly because Dune doesn't overly describe every Dune doesn't overly describe every single thing. This thing has kind of a Tolkien-esque approach to things and just like does a lot of philosophy. There's a lot of discussion. There's a lot there's a lot of talking. Lots of talking, lots of visions, there's a lot of build-up. And then when we finally got to the rising and falling action of the build-up, it was basically about this much into the book when it just finally started going faster and becoming a quicker read. But before that, it's like the second Aragon book. Lots and lots of build-up. So anyway, that's my very half-baked Brandon Sanderson review, because I just wanted to get something up on YouTube for a change. It has been a long time since I've posted anything. I apologize, but here's where we are. Lots of fun. I'm going to give you some reviews for Voyager and Dune at some point. In the meantime, I'll see if I can remember some of the other books, enough of the other books that I've read, and give reviews for them as well. But until then, everybody have a nice night. Enjoy, if you're in Texas or the South, enjoy the nice warm spring, I'm sorry, I almost said summer, spring evening, and catch you later.